What's happening, everyone? We are back. It is another day in paradise. We're just waiting for prices to go up, for us to all retire, get rich, live our dreams, go do the things we actually want to do instead of 9 to 5, all that good stuff. Yes, I'm with you. However, very interesting news today. That almost seems like FUD. I don't know. I'm gonna let you all figure it out. We're gonna start with that. BTC. There was a Matrixport person. Yeah, Maxi. Let's see. Let me get to this. So, and a bunch of people have been. You can see they're searching for Matrixport and like trying to figure this stuff out. So, company, person from company. Otherwise, bewildering note from Matrixport. Several supporting arguments. Nonsense. Go through the most confusing and questionable claims. Yeah, when I first saw this, I was like, I don't know. I mean, even the words SEC Chair Gensler not embracing crypto in the U.S. It might be a very long shot to expect he would vote to approve Bitcoin spot ETFs. I don't know. I mean, can you imagine if the lawsuits? Can you imagine the lawsuits if it doesn't get done? Like, is this Gary's last chance to stay in the job, sort of deal? Like, is that? I feel like that's what people are thinking too, because they've already made too many poor people, as our friend Tommy would say. Too many poor people. Want the price to go up, leave the red candles behind, all the death and destruction for the past couple of years. Pretty crazy if this didn't happen. I don't know. I can't see it myself. It's, what is it, January 8th, January 10th, something like that. Is when people are expecting. Well, January 10th is a Wednesday, and then January 8th is a Monday. I think that's what it is. Yeah. So I don't know. I can't see it not happening. Now, is it a sell the news event? That's up for you to decide as well. But as far as it not happening because Gary Gensler doesn't like crypto, like that's kind of like old news to me. Like, yeah, of course he doesn't like crypto. But you got like 50. Let's just companies filing BTC ETF. I mean, just look at Grayscale, 21 shares, ARK Invest, Fanac, Wisdom Tree, Invesco, Fidelity, Valkyrie. Like, they've already lined everything up. Don't even mention BlackRock at this point. It's already lined up, right? So the question is, like, how does it not get happen at this point? The market seems to have already been pricing it in. You've got every single institution that could get their hands on it, filing an application. Why wouldn't it happen? They've got the GPTC guy. Who's that? Gary. I always never know him as Gary Shilbert. I don't know if somebody said that or this just streams I watched in the past. But Gary, I don't know his real name. See, somebody does this all the time. He'll say stuff, he'll call people things, and then he'll keep saying it so long that if I don't know them beforehand, I'll forget their real name. So funny. Gary Silbert. They've already replaced him. If you want to do the invisible hand conspiracy theory things to get everything approved, I don't know. I think this article seems like FUD to me. It seems like just something you would write 5 days beforehand or so, right? It would be like, let's get that one last dip in sort of deal. You can come back and play this later and be like, yeah, it's totally wrong. But to me, my first reaction is if the only thing we got is he's not embracing crypto in the US, I don't know. You can even say, is the Bitcoin ETF even crypto? Like, it's basically an institutional product at that point. Barry Silbert. Thank you, Archie. I've heard Barry Shilbert so many times I could not think of his real name. Anyways, let me say hi to the chat. I want to start off with that. Bitcoin ETF will get rejected. I don't see that happening. Could be wrong. I don't like to make predictions either, though, so I'm not predicting anything. I'm just face value. This article just seems like what is supposed to come out, FUD-wise or doubting-wise or otherwise, the few days before a big event. So I'll say on that. What's up, Red Squirrel? Good to see you. Good to see you, Red Squirrel, as always. Robert, welcome, Digital Farmer. How's it going? J Pond, good morning to you, J Pond. I like your little baby Groot photo there. What's up, DJ Bomber? Good evening to you as well. Go through a couple things. I got I want to start with the Bitcoin ETF deal because that's something that happened a few hours ago or this morning. And then let's move on to Solana. Who likes Solana here? So I started making some infographics. So I thought, I think we need more marketing material. We need more, and we have all kinds of really good infographics comparing different blockchains and stuff. But I talked about Solana the other day, and I was like, yeah, are you going to buy it when it's up 10x? Something funny enough, it dipped right below 100 today. I saw on, watching the mainstream news deal. They got to put Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana on there. And yeah, I've just been thinking, let me take, again, what is valuable? What is interesting? What is information that can be used by other people in conversations to show the power of PulseChain? I think comparing against other networks and stuff, right? So PulseChain versus Solana, again, this is kind of just, it's not really for debate points. This is more of just like, hey, I want to show PulseChain's strengths, obviously. So, and then show some opportunity, right? Like price in history, less than 1 cent, $100. Again, if you want to really dig into market caps, you want to really dig into, all the speeds and all that stuff too, you can. But I think a lot of these are pretty compelling points, honestly. Like you can see opportunity, you can see cycle one, you can see if you value community stuff instead of, getting quote dumped on by the VCs type of thing. PulseChain there. You got the transactions, as far as, what is this, 200? So again, potential, like the lower numbers, a lot of these times could be, you could read this and be like, oh, it's only got, over a billion only over a billion transactions. Look at, I'll get to Polkadot in a minute, but Polkadot's a little funny. When I start digging in these other chains and stuff, like some of their stats are just kind of funny from what I'm used to, in the game theory and tokenomics and stuff in this ecosystem. And validators, again, some people brought up, these are not all servers. Well, I don't know if the Solana ones are all servers either. So again, you can have multiple validators per server. The real number of servers is TBD. I wish I could find an open source version of the ETH node. I think it's called ethernode.org, which shows all this stuff. It's an amazing website, ethernodes.org. And you could see the breakdowns of clients. I wish we had this for PulseChain. If it was open source, I might just fork it for PulseChain. Like that's how much I like it. I cannot find the source code for it. If you can, please let me know. I cannot find the source code for this website, the backend services they use to collect the data, all this stuff. But you can see various different stats, operating systems. You see Linux rules, of course. I don't know who's running Windows nodes, but apparently there's a few in Mac too. Sync status, but just getting these kind of metrics is pretty cool. And anyways, you can search by IP address and all that stuff. Let's see if you do browse. So this type of data we could use to count the number of servers because we have all the data. If we could see all the ones reporting, then we could filter down and come up with more interesting numbers as far as servers and stuff go too. But we don't. So we go off the data we have. That's what I found. So researching some of these chains, I'm like, there's just not a lot of clear data to even do some of the comparisons. So no downtime, down 10 times. Yeah, that's if you search like at least 10 times, I think there's maybe even more, but I think the consensus round number is like, there's literally articles written that say like Solana is down 10 times. Why? All that stuff. Proof of stake versus proof of stake and proof of history. I really like to bring out this point too, the technology fee burning Ethereum fork versus an inflationary network, a token like that. Of course, Ethereum is sort of deflation. It's technically inflationary, but it has deflationary features, say it like that. And it depends on the different network stats and volume and transactions, all that stuff too. So there may be a day, depending on the network success, where Ethereum and PulseChain become deflationary just by so much usage and so much adoption and stuff like that. But I do like the PulseChain's, that's kind of its thing too, is it burns part of the fees and all that stuff. So pretty cool stuff on that. So I'll start creating some of these. I'm gonna create one so I've got create a Polkadot one. I'm gonna do Caspa, maybe do AVAX, do a few other ones too. But yeah, I think it's pretty interesting and something, again, you can show, if you're in a conversation with people and you want to be like, hey, why is PulseChain cool? Why should I pay attention to this? This could give them at least a compelling story of like, okay, at least they'll dig into it, do their own research, and go from there. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate that. BlackRock was cheaper price. Yeah, like I think it would make sense for FUD to come out like that. It would make sense for that to happen. So ETF will be settled in cash. Yeah, so it's not in kind. I think they got that. That was like one of the, I feel like that was the last point they wanted to iron out, is instead of in kind, they settle in cash. So I'm like, okay, of course the SEC doesn't want to give us all the fundamentals and stuff like that. But I'm like, what other concerns you possibly have other than not liking it? So again, if they reject this ETF, I don't know how there's not a billion lawsuits. Gary Gensler, and more, it doesn't seem like he's doing a very good job in a lot of ways. And if you piss off all the other institutional people too, like how, I just can't see it. I can't see it. We got a Burr Bear sighting. Let me see if he's down here. Oh, he is. Burr Bear is back. He is one of 4 brother bears. He is the original, and he is the Burr Bear. Burr Bear ever makes a Burberry bull, I shall pick up a bull. But until then, we have these cute little Burberry bears that I acquired in the bear market, because that's what you do. Not bear advice. What's up, Godfather J6? Franklin, what's happening, man? We need create better scripts for monitoring PLS values. I want to try, but I'm not sure what an API to full correct PLS price. I think you're talking about 2 different things there. So for monitoring PLS validators, so for that you have Grafana, you have Prometheus, that type of stuff. I'll put up if anyone's interested in being a validator, I've got 32 AMAs for you to watch and a whole bunch of other content as well. tinyurl.com/go validate. I'll take you all the stuff you need to see. Need to create better scripts for PLS monitoring. So we have stuff to monitor them as far as graphs and stuff go. I'm not sure if you were taking a different angle on that. I want to try, but I'm not sure where to find the API to pull for the correct PLS price. So 2 different things there. You have monitoring the validators, and then you have the pulling the price, which could come from Oracle. That's actually an interesting question. If I want to pull the PLS price, because I know Liquid Loans and otherwise Power City and stuff would be using, as far as I know, that's how they get price feeds, is like a Fetch Oracle and stuff. They got it running on PulseChain. I wonder, yeah, it seems like a simple script to do that. I could probably do that. I could probably just like come up with one if maybe I'll just ask Jesse if they have some code. Yeah, let me just ask him that. It's a good question. I'm going to message Jesse now. I asked him to come back on when we got some PulseChain data. I'm sorry, when we got some Power City updates with Earn, because I'm very excited about that. All right, I asked Jesse about that. Let's see what he says. Question, Franklin. Again, elaborate. I think you're two different topics there, but feel free to elaborate there. Burr Bear times 3, times 4. There's 4, but the original Burr Bear I get, and then 3 other Burr Bears, which I can't remember their names. We had Bull Run Bear. Remember that, BRB. And then we had Beethoven. What was the other one's name? Honey Bear? Yeah, it was Honey Bear, right? It's Honey Bee, I think is what it was. Pretty cool. Yeah, Grafana. I use the Raymond scripts to build a validator. Are you talking about? I haven't heard of that person making validator scripts. Raymond. I know there's Feeder, which more a guide and like set of instructions, set of commands in a script. There's Dip Slayers, which is awesome. There's mine, of course. There is other guides. I don't know if there's any other scripts to do it. I'm sure there's some I haven't heard of. If you know of any, if this is the new person making scripts, I'd love to have them on a validator AMA sometime. Love to talk validators. Every time I ask people about validators, I asked on Twitter the other day, hey, you guys want a validator AMA? You're going to show up and ask questions. I think 20 or more people said yes, they would show up and ask questions. I did the AMA. There was 10 to 20 people total there, and I had about 3 people maybe asking questions. So I did 32 of them. I would like to do more, but I need to get some ROI there. People show up and ask questions, or let me talk to somebody who wants to talk about this stuff. Am I an electrical engineer? No, I'm not, but I do have some basic knowledge of electricity and components that I've been interested in for a long time. Ripstaker app. Yeah, I know. That's yeah, I remember using V1 a lot. I don't think I ever used V2, or did I? Can't remember. V1 was pretty awesome. I gotta say that's a whole thing. Will Twitter adopt PulseChain's payment system? I do not know. Not sure if they ever adopt PulseChain in particular. Better question is, a more higher level question is, when will they adopt crypto as a payment system? Doge, or Bitcoin, or Lightning, or whatever. And then from there, will they let you choose once they test it with something widely known and adopted? Then they may be like, okay, Elon's putting some polls out. Do you who wants to or what's the next one I should add, support for? Or maybe it's like a paid system where you pay and get it in, and maybe at that point everyone's made so much money they'll pay for Hex and PulseChain to be accepted. You never know. The community-led deal. Use script for graph monitoring. I was able to get a couple things. Yeah, I asked about the fetch Oracle and how to pull pricing data. We'll see what he says. Anyways, let's go on to, so that was Solana. So now we have Polkadot. So again, I did some research on Polkadot. I'm like, okay, pretty similar to Solana as far as the launch time, backed by VCs, very small number of validators, 297. And I thought I read some article, they may get up to 1,000 or something. So I'm pretty sure, I don't know how many actual servers of validators PulseChain has. And we talk about the pros and cons of servers to validator ratio and all this stuff too. It's got to be thousands. It's got to be thousands. I'm not sure exactly, but it's definitely, I would find it very hard to believe it'd be less than this. So I think both numbers, if you want to compare that, would be more than Polkadot. And the very small number of transactions. Not sure exactly why. I know it's new and stuff, but I think it's meant for more of, I think, network to network type stuff, maybe. So it's not meant to, every blockchain's got its own problem it's trying to solve, right? So apparently Polkadot is not going to win any prizes for number of transactions processed. So, and then technology, and again, unlimited supply is what people see people talking about online too, is Polkadot's like, inflation, unlimited supply. Will they change in the future stuff? Who knows? Maybe they'll put some fundamentals in there, but stick with PulseChain. We were designed with fundamentals and can only get better, I would say, in that regard. So that is Polkadot again. I'll put this in the chat. You guys feel free to share it with people. Share it with your friend down the street that likes Polkadot. He's like, hey man, do you have some DOT? I'm like, no, I have some PLS though. And you guys can talk about, here's some talking points for you, and you can debate in more nuance and deep dive into them if you like. Solana and Polkadot. Got some more coming up too. Yeah, I would not think the ETF would be rejected. I don't know. But just the first person, let's see, the current 5-person vote commission, clear leadership, dominated by Democrats. Okay. Is this literally going to get like really political here? Is this the thing the Democrats have it out for crypto? I'm not sure that's the case. There's definitely some popular ones who don't have a lot of nice things to say about it, but I don't know. That seems a little, I'm not informed enough to be into that. I'm not read into that kind of thing, but interesting. Well, any more thing besides ads here? Estimates an extra 14 billion in fiat and leverage deployed in crypto since September. 10 billion related to ETF. Yeah, I mean that's right. It's what people are saying. It's priced in. They're buying because they knew 99% chance it'd be approved. Now it could not be. I mean, I don't know. Could they do something where they delay it, where they're like, oh, we need more information, or they reject it? Like they reject it based on, I don't know. I can't think it'd be rejected, but I don't know. Yeah, head of Galaxy. Yeah, of course, Galaxy Digital. Mike Novogratz, people thinks it's nonsense cool. And Yeah, pretty interesting. So that was the, let's see, that's the Matrixport side. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, if you just type in Bitcoin ETF rejected, there's a couple articles. Go to the block. Look at this one for a moment as well. I see reject all Bitcoin spot ETFs in January. So what is the critical thing? That's what I want to see too. Argue the application still falls short of critical requirement that must be met for us to approve them. You got to think that in the next 5 days, that whatever requirement is happening, they're going to meet it, or they're going to call the SEC's bluff and be like, all right, you want to play this game? Yeah, they updated their things over and over and over. I don't know. And another thing is, like, I don't even care what happens. I really don't care what happens to crypto in January 2024. I don't care what happens to crypto in January 2024. I'm not planning on cashing out this month. Like, I don't know. It's really, all this is just, sometimes I really put myself in the perspective of all this is just noise. Like, until I see green candles, all this is just like stuff to talk about, kind of fun. I don't really take it that seriously though. Because if Bitcoin goes down, if it drops, ETF's not approved, goes down to 30K or whatever, I'm like, all right. Does it feel good? No. But does it really affect me? No, it doesn't really affect me. I'm not here to get rich off Bitcoin. So yes, does that have broader market moves? Does the other things tend to follow and affect investments and sentiment? Yes. But I don't know. PulseChain's not pumping right now, so maybe there's a case to be made for a decorrelation that is positive for us as well, if things go up and down. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of liquidity is in the PulseChain network now. So I don't know. Come to Axis. Axis and I are streaming tomorrow around 4:30 Eastern. I'm sure we'll go through episode number 4. So we're doing episode number 4 of Making Money in Crypto. Excellent series. I'm gonna make a playlist on YouTube. Excellent series. Super good. You should check it out. Making Money in Crypto. I did a tweet. I'll pull my tweet real quick. Yep, not that one. This is my YouTube deal. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Let's check this out. There's some pretty binge-worthy content here. I think so. Not every time I do a stream and afterwards I'm like, man, that was good. But these were all like, I could tell these were really good information. So I got the next one, like I said, coming up tomorrow with Axis. Very excited about that. And Sloth, the one from Neil is great. The one from Dylan's great. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. So check that out. So see shares on raising crypto. They say you're too much fraud, but actually they're just citing. I know this is all like old stuff, all old talking points of just yeah. We've heard it. It's just that's the thing that annoys me too. I don't like when I say something, like I try my best to mean what I say, right? Like you hear me talk about stuff, that's how I feel about it. I'm not going to change my mind a week later. Like more than likely, facts change, my mind change. Sure, there's certain cases for that, but in general, I'm very, and I don't know why this is not more normal, but like I'm very like, hey, I think a certain way. I'm going to stick with that. Very principles focused, maybe that's what it is. So all this stuff is it's just like you could easily say the other way. I don't like it when people take positions where they criticize something that it's not based on fact, right? It's just based on their opinion. So stuff like, let's see. Let's go down to There's been far too much fraud by actors in the field of crypto. What does that even mean? There's been far too much fraud and bad actors. So like, what are you justifying when you say that? You're trying to justify not letting a $1 trillion ecosystem thrive. You're trying to hold that down because there's too much fraud and bad actors. Is that the solution? Gatekeep them? Do your best to make it so they don't thrive? Like, why is that the solution? Why not have some meaningful regulation? Why not be like, you know what, the most fraud ever and bad actors use the most? Cash. Let's just ban cash. Which, yeah, don't tempt them. Maybe they would, but it just doesn't make any sense. You could easily take the other side and be like, there's a lot of innovation, other stuff that happens in crypto. So there's a lot of non-compliance. It's like, make better laws, make it easier. Like, if you think you have the right laws there already, what are we talking about? If you don't, why aren't you making new ones? Like, none of this is like a fair and, obviously, objective and useful conversation. It's just, in anything too, that always annoys me when people are like, this is the right thing we should work on because this. And, or we should go, a whole community should go do this, or this is the thing that can really make PulseChain pump or whatever. I mean, it's all fine to have all these ideas and stuff, but it's like, based on what? Like, why is that any better than anything? I don't know. It just a little annoys that when it's like, people just say stuff and you could easily take the other side, clearly an opinion, and that should not be used to influence policy whatsoever. Anyway, we get the rest of this, and then I'm going to end the stream because I got maybe within 10 minutes, we'll say. Got a few minutes left. Let's see, vying for spot. Yeah, Franklin. Yeah, doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. I cannot make much sense of these positions. All right, go back to the chat. What do you guys want to talk about the last few minutes? Yeah, it looks like Sticker App's working on a web front end deal, which is good. What's up, Paul? How's it going, Armando? Yeah, Happy New Year to you as well. Question for you. RHMax, is trying to go to another product through your RH bag or wrong to talk about it? Great question, Franklin. I don't think right and wrong is the way that I look at it. I'll give you my perspective. So I like things that help Hex and PulseChain and PulseX, the blue chips. And I've talked about this before. I did videos on all this stuff. So I'm going to try to be more specific when I answer your question. But I like ecosystem projects that do that help the ecosystem. They're obvious for onboarding, obvious utility, or whatever. It gets messy though. There's some projects that are like, okay, this is good. This is a good idea. And then I don't know, like it's kind of like I don't want to. I'm trying to not be specific on purpose because I don't want to I don't ad hominem. I don't want to talk about the projects or stuff like that outside of the facts. But yeah, it gets easy to stray sometimes from the message and from the mission, stuff like that. So as an RH Maxi, I'm a Maxi for his ideas. I like Richard's ideas. I think he's a force for good in the world. I myself and many other people want to be forces for good in the world. We like to do that stuff. And do you think there's anything wrong going to the project to secure your RH bag? I think that can be a fallacy. I'll say that. I think it can be kind of like, they say slippery slope is a fallacy. I think slippery slope can be a fallacy, but most of the time it's not. Like it's actually based on, that there's all videos and stuff on this stuff, mental models and different things. So I think the idea that oh, I'm going to go invest in, let's just say meme coin, for example. And that's going to go do a 10,000x. And then I'm going to go take that and buy Hex. It's like, well, now you've signed yourself up for promoting that, not talking about Hex and stuff because you want to grow that bag. All that, again, picking up pennies in front of this type of deal, and you make it a zero and you lose everything. So what your plan may have been wholesome from the start, or you maybe just tricked yourself into doing that type of thing. I got to watch myself on this stuff sometimes too, chasing shiny objects. It's one of those things that it could go wrong and has went wrong poorly for many people over time. So it starts off as this perhaps good idea, and then doesn't always work out that way. So anyways, do I think it's wrong to go another project or RH bag? I don't think so. Like I've talked about other projects and I've had the founders on and stuff like that that I think can help grow together. And if those projects go up and we all win, that's fine. Like that's good. As long as they help the ecosystem. What I don't like is going into projects outside the ecosystem, or projects that are obviously just a zero-sum game that have no influence other than just, let's just say, oh, we hope other people come in the ecosystem because they'll see this thing and they'll see other things. I think those dots are very hard to connect. I think there's many other projects where the dots are easy to connect, where this is obviously good for the PulseChain network and for Hex and everything else, like derivatives, like liquid loans and all this stuff, locking up stuff. So I don't think it's wrong to talk about it. For me, I try to be careful that I'm not taking away from Hex PulseChain. I think that's maybe the key that I try to do, is I avoid taking away from them. Like whatever I'm talking about, I'm trying to make sure there's an angle that either helps promote or helps lock up value or helps onboard people with that product to the blue chips. And it's hard to do. And you have to be, if you want to do it, you don't have to do it, but if you want to do it, you have to be very deliberate and very principled approach, which is what I try to bring to the table too. Of like, this is what I'm going to talk about. It's my thing. I have these principles I've talked about a million times, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm RHMaxing for his ideals, not only his products. I like ecosystem products that help those coins, and I'm here to win. And I think the least risky, most ROI way to win is PulseChain, Hex, and all those, and a few of the projects that I like around them that help them grow. So, was that not even make you maxi? I don't know. I don't even think it's important to distinguish that hard on what a maxi is, honestly. If somebody told me I wasn't a real maxi or something because I like products other than the blue chips, I'd be like, I'm not that kind of maxi then. I'm the maxi for his ideals. So, and his ideals, his products, go in line from it, but they're a subset from his ideals. I talk about longevity. I love that stuff. That's one of Richard's ideals that he likes. I talk about tons of other stuff, Scivive, all this stuff. So I'm maxi for his ideals. So if you hear RH Maxi and you think you must only love Hex, PulseChain, and PulseX, and maybe Inc., then I'm not that maxi, I guess. I think there's different flavors, and that's fine. So I don't think like fitting people into a box of like this particular thing. There's obviously a line, right? Like if you call yourself RH Maxi, but you barely talk about Hex or PulseChain or any products that help it, then you have that conversation. But I just don't think it's that useful. I think if you're putting in the work to promote the products, you're doing a good job, and you're being the best Hexan you can be if you're Hexan. I think that's enough. And I think it's what I like to do. Small, smart decisions. Yeah. Oh, I gotta go in like 3 minutes. All right. So the people trash talk PulseX was less community developed. Polkadot Link is community developed. Different than the same. I did the comparisons. You can just search here too. For example, Polkadot, backed by, there's a lot of investments from VCs and stuff. We're community led, genius billionaire founder, all that stuff. So more or less community developed. I think we're extremely grassroots. I think literally the only reason Hex and PulseChain are successful as they are today is because the community wills them to be. We will not give up. we will win, right? So if the community wasn't there, the coins wouldn't exist. There'd be no reason to build them. But other products, VCs build them. They hire developers. They're mercenaries, right? More mercenaries than a lot of community projects are. So that's the thing about, I don't know, PulseChain not pumping. That's kind of like, that's the one thing that's kind of annoying when PulseChain's not pumping. It's like further confirming the meme coiners were right, because people aren't getting the rewards they believe they deserve after waiting 2 years. But we're finding out in reality, it's just not how it works. Like, if you were meant to be rich right now, you would be rich right now. It's just not. I mean, that's the way I think about it, at least. So people get bored. They chase shiny objects. They start straying away from talking about Hex and talking about everything else. So, but Richard doesn't lose. I'm going to keep with the thesis that the genius billionaire guy ain't going to let anything tank the ecosystem, and neither are we. So that's what I'm going with. We'll see who's right in the end. But I like it. I think I like this way of doing things. Yeah, you could say it's still DCA time. A lot of people probably still think that. So, Paul. All right, guys, I'm about to wrap up. What's up, TEDx? Welcome. I don't think there's anything wrong with making money outside. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with it either. But for me, I don't want to risk taking my money outside, taking the brain space of other projects, when I could be putting my brain space to help the PulseChain ecosystem. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to help our ecosystem. So I guess, like, what are your goals? Are your goals, get rich at any cost? Well, then you're going to do different things than someone who says, okay, I want to get rich, but I want to do it in these particular ways based on these principles. I want everyone else to get rich. I want to help the ecosystem. I want to, give more than I receive, that type of thing, in a way, that kind of train of thinking. So you're going to do what your values say, align you to do. So that's why everyone acts differently in their own way. So if nothing else, I guess the point I would bring out on this, that what Neil for T-Shares brought the other day was, what if I bring my money outside the ecosystem and we start pumping, and then instead of having a 10x, I get a 2x when I come back, or instead of 100x, I get a 10x. I don't want to take that chance, and I'm completely aligned to hang out here and see to it that I contribute to the winning. So that's what I'm going to do. Anyways, thank you all for coming by. Great stream. Appreciate the questions. Great questions too. I will be back tomorrow for Making Money in Crypto, number 4. Finish off that series for now. I don't know. We'll see if we have number 5. If I get somebody else who wants to come on there and talk about it. But that's all I got for you. Scivive and 5555. We were out.